Dear researchers and professors, colleagues and friends, my name is Murat Cesar. I'm an associate professor at the Department of Geography, Tourism and Territorial Planning at the University of Oradea in Oradea, Romania. I would like to welcome you to this roundtable networking event titled The Urban Transformation in the Socialist and Post-Socialist Countries in Response to the Pandemic, the Lesson Learned, held here at the International Congress Center in Katowice, Poland. I would like to express my special thanks to Professor Fu Huatao from the University of Ottawa, Canada, and also to Professor Benjamin Jani from Carleton University, Canada, for their involvement in the organization of this event, part of an overall ICASO effort. Holding such roundtable is more than welcome, as the urban transformation phenomenon is a present issue in the post-socialist countries of Central and Eastern Europe, a region that experienced in the last decades important socio-economical political changes, which further generated major restructuring processes, all parts of an important society transformation. As we all feel now, following the COVID-19 pandemic, the world is going through fundamental and complex changes, impacting our daily lifestyle, but offering at the same time exciting opportunities and future challenges. It's our mission as scientists to find and deliver practical, realistic, long-term solutions that make the world safer, sustainable, and more resilient. I believe that only if working together we'll be able to generate positive changes, so today's event is the perfect opportunity for this. This event is structured through three large sections. The first one is dealing with the opening remarks, the second one with the roundtable speeches, and the third one is the discussion session. At this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Claude Albert Gomzi from the United Nations Human Settlement Program in Kinshasa to chair the opening session, opening remarks session. Dr. Claude, please.
Thank you, Dr. Cesar, and thank you, dear colleagues online. I will not be very long here, just to say it was a long journey for us to be here, and we have had the chance to work with the whole ICASO family, but also we have here with us the senior interregional advisor and the deputy director or director of the regional programs, Royang, who will give us a UN Habitat message to this special session networking event. But I just want to increase and say that Mr. Royan has been with us for many years. He has been part of the ICASO journey. The ICASO is the International Conference for China, Canada, and Africa Sustainable Urbanization. We have colleagues who are also participating online. Thank you and welcome to everyone. We strongly believe that the influence of ideology can impact the forms and the finance of cities and urban development. In just few words, I would like to welcome here Mr. Rong Yang, the director of the interregional or programs of UN Habitat.
Interregional advisor. Thank you very much, Claude. Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you very much, Claude, for your brief introduction. Dear guests, professors, experts, participants, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to our online participants here. As you know, UN Habitat is the most closer cooperation partner of ICASO. And we would like to welcome all participants come to WUF 11 Katowice in Poland. You may be from the central or local government, maybe from the academia or research institutions, or from the societies and NGOs, etc. Wherever you are on site or online, welcome all you to join today's networking events. Today's events at WUF 11 is the one of the series of the activities of ICASU, as mentioned by my colleagues, Claude, which is focused on the knowledge exchange, sharing the best practices and the lesson learned, and exploring the effective solutions for the sustainable urban development. The organizer select interesting and meaningful theme, urban transformation in socialist and post-socialist countries in response to the pandemic, the lessons learned, for today's dialogue and exchange. Over the last more than 2 years of COVID pandemic, today we are still facing the challenge in many places of the world. Wherever it is in the socialist or post-socialist country, this is also our common challenge and how to make recovery of the social economic development, as well as the challenge for the implementation of SDGs and new urban agenda. We all know cities are the frontier to fight with the pandemic of the COVID. Cities are also the most important key place for accelerating the social economic recovery and the development in the period of the post-pandemic. The cities, either in the socialist or in the post-socialist country, standing at the new point of the post-pandemic, most of these cities must have the same goals and how they are dedicated to finding the effective approach, solutions, and the measurement to tackle the post-pandemic challenge, such as how to rethink urban space and land planning, and how to promote inclusive plan and development for cities, and how to make the cities and the communities more resilient, and how to tackle the poverty, strengthen the social protection, and how to invest sustainable urban infrastructure and reduce the disaster risk. And in the meantime, I think most of city, we need also to think about how the cities are the engines of dynamism and innovation, and help us to overcome development of deficit, etc. So the whole aspect related to this, I think, is related to the sustainable urban development. There will be a diversity and variety of the solutions measurement and best practices and lessons learned, either in the socialist or in the post-socialist country. But I think that all of us have the common goals, that is how to realize sustainable development goals in the cities around the world. This needs the actions from all stakeholders, including the participants join today's networking events. I believe that today's dialogue and debates will benefit all the participants, benefit for the cities, finding the way forward to tackling the challenge they are facing. I also believe with respect to the sustainable urban development, ICASU will continue its contribution to the implementation of SDGs and new urban agenda. With all participants have a very active exchange and a discussion with successful networking events today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yang. The second session is dealing with the roundtable speeches, and we're having the following speakers. Professor John Zacharias from the Peking University in China, Professor Eva Corcelli from the Polish Academy of Sciences, Professor Gyula Nagy from the University of Szeged in Hungary, Professor Alexander Valerevich from the University of Belgrade, Serbia, and Professor Nahid Uzamov from the University of British Columbia, Canada. This section is pre-recorded. It will last about 35 minutes, and I would like to ask you to watch it together. Thank you.
So on behalf of the International Consortium on Chinese, Canadian, and African Sustainable Urbanism, otherwise known as ICASU, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this session. My name is Benjamin Gianni. I'm an associate professor at Carleton University in Ottawa, Canada, where I teach courses in housing and urban design. I'll be your co-moderator for this session, along with Cezar Morar, who's an associate professor at the University of Oradea in Romania. The title of this session is Urban Transformation in Socialist and Post-Socialist Countries in Response to the Pandemic, Lessons Learned. Now, the COVID pandemic has had a significant impact on the spatial and social structure of cities and has brought about numerous socioeconomic changes. As the pandemic is a relatively new phenomenon, there's much to be discovered about its effects on urban planning and on development. This session focuses on the role and effectiveness of government intervention in socialist and post-socialist countries with respect to addressing health issues, speeding economic recovery, etc. Scholars have observed the adoption of top-down practices, including lockdowns, curfews, tax relief, and stimulus packages, rent and mortgage relief, etc. Comparing these with bottom-up strategies can provide insights on the nature and effectiveness of governance at various levels. Today's session will be broken into 3 parts: opening remarks, presentations by our 5 panelists, each of whom will speak for about 7 minutes, and a roundtable discussion. Opening remarks will be delivered by Hong Wang, an associate professor at Shanghai University in China, by Alexandru Ilias, the Dean of the Faculty of Geography at the University of Oradea in Romania, and by Olivier Delorme, who's a professor at the University of the Antilles in French Martinique. And today's presenters are as follows: John Zacharias, who's a chair professor at Peking University in China, Eva Korczeli-Olejniczak, who's an associate professor at the Polish Academy of Sciences, Gyula Nagy, who's an associate professor at Zagreb University in Hungary, Alexander Velarnovich, who's an associate professor at the University of Belgrade in Serbia, and finally, Professor K.M. Nahiduzman, who's an assistant professor at the University of British Columbia here in Canada. It's now my pleasure to introduce Hong Wang to start us off.
Hello, everyone. Let's welcome Professor Alex Alexandru for the opening remark. Professor Alex Alexandru is the Dean of the Faculty of Geography, Tourism, and Sport at the University of Oradea. The findings of his research on political geography were presented at numerous international conferences abroad and in Romania. Since 2005, Dr. Alexandru has nominated as a full professor at the University of Gdańsk, Poland.
Dear friends, dear colleague, it's my great pleasure to be today with you in this important meeting. My name is Alexandru Idies. I am professor of University of Oradea. For short time, I'm also the Dean of Faculty of Geography, Tourism and Sport from Oradea, Romania. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Professor Hu Huacao from University of Ottawa, one of my old friend. I know Professor about 10 years. I met him 20 years ago in one conference in Spain. And also to say thank you to our common friend, Professor Olivier Delorme from University of Guadalupe. We had the opportunity of working together between 2010 and 2014 also in common program, European Union and Canada, was a research project, Transatlantic Network, established for converting brownfields into community assets. was a great opportunity to work together, to meet together, to meet our teams. And when I say our teams, it's our colleagues from Canada and also my colleagues from Oradea, especially Dr. Professor Cesar Morar, who is present in this conference. Of course, I would like to definitely express my support to this round the table agenda networking events, urban transformation in socialist and post-socialist countries. Of course, countries in response to the pandemic, lesson learned. Held at the International Congress Center in Katowice, Poland. In Poland, it's I can say it's my second countries, because we have a very good collaboration with colleagues from different universities, Gdańsk, Katowice, Gdańsk, Łódź, Rzeszów. We are all aware of the remarkable growth of cities in the recent decade has intensified humanity in most pressing challenges. Of course, in addition, COVID-19 underline this issue, showing at the same time a great number of opportunities for geographers, planners, and policymakers to take transformative actions towards creating cities that are more resilient and more sustainable. As well, the world is going through fundamental and complex transformation, changing our daily lifestyle, but offering at the same time exciting opportunity and future challenges. I don't want to discuss now about what happened near us, in neighbor Romania and Poland. Everybody know about war from Ukraine and normal where are a lot of changes, especially landscape, people, and so. I would like to assure all of you interested in expanding your knowledge and exploring the myriad and existing opportunities that our faculty definitely supports the cross-cutting edge research project and many other collaboration, financed especially by European Union, but also in the other funds. Please accept my apologies because I'm not present there. I am here. My colleagues are face to face. I believe that complex problems require many solutions, and working together will enable positive changes. University of Oradea, my faculty are open to collaborate with all of you. Yours, and good luck for all activities of this important meeting. Thank you very much.
Now let's welcome Professor Oliver De Hoon for the opening remark. Oliver De Hoon is a professor at the University of Antilles and an associate professor at Laval University in Canada. From his master's program in regional development studies, students will learn the issues of urban planning and development, as well as the fight against poverty in various countries of the Caribbean.
Bonjour, Witam Chemsky. As an opening, I introduce you some through on the urban situation in the Caribbean, and more specifically in the lesser French Antilles. When we talk about tropical island, we get all the cliches about tourism with an easy way of life, far from the misery of the world. The daily reality is quite different, complex. I introduce you some a small overview of the issue based on an example of the Guadeloupe. It's a French island where social policy are important. Unlike the small English-speaking islands, which are marked by liberal policy, where is no middle classes and great poverty. Urban space are particularly complex. We are in cramped territories. The city have a very high density, population density. Urban spaces is fragmented. In this landscape, we have some island of wealth that correspond to some small gated communities. Wealth inequality are very marked. The poorest people live in aging urban centers and large building landscape run by the public authority. Social policies supported by French help the most vulnerable to access housing. Seniors, immigrant people, sometimes illegal, single women with their young children. Houses developed in the outskirts, in contact with the mountain and forest areas, in areas subject to greater natural risks, such as landslide or flood. The current period of crisis accentuates poverty and inequalities. Governments are short of money, and urban renewal programs are falling far behind. Historic city centers are falling into the repairs. Buildings cannot be demolished. They become squats. In the period of crisis, cascading of crisis, where the cost of living is always more expensive, social tensions are important and can quickly result in riot in urban areas, as well as case at the end of 2021. But urban space remain places of culture and artistic expression in an uncertain daily life. Thank you.